How's it going? My name's Razor and this is my general build for any stamina class. So this would apply to Templars, DKs, Sorks and Nightblades, all of them. So I'm going to go over a general setup that will work for every class. Now, some skills will be changed between classes, some champion points will be changed between classes, but there are little differences. The general build is the same and it works. So let's get into it. Alright, let's start with our front bar. This is our 200 bar. You want Evil Hunter for the extra damage, stamina return, and the passive crit. The template, you get it with jabs, so you can run Repentance here for the passive regen, and you get health and stamina from dead bodies, which is really nice. You don't have to bar swap. So a Templar is the only one that doesn't need Evil Hunter. You want Repentance there. Next, you want Rally. It's your heal, it's your weapon damage buff. Nothing more to say. Then you want your charge ability, Ambush for a Nightblade, crit charge for Stam Sork, Stam Templar, and a Stam DK. Next is our spammable attack. A Nightblade is going to have a surprise attack. A Templar is going to have Jazz, which gives them weapon crit. DK and a Sork is all they got is Wreck and Blow, so you're going to have to use that. Even if it doesn't stun, it still does a fair bit of damage. Next, we have our Execute, and it's not Executioner. Nope, it's Reverse Slice. In group situations, as like groups of ads come towards you, this is better because you can group execute them all, and it saves you a lot more time than just running Executioner. So I prefer this morph. You can go the other morph, but you're not going to kill things very fast when there's tons of things on you. With this, it could be like an oh crap moment. Then you go to the one guy who's low health, execute him, and it's going to hit the rest of them for like 10k. So if he goes down, you can do 1 or 2 spam attacks, and then no one's going to be on execute. You execute him, the rest of them are going to be execute. You execute one of them, then they're all dead. Simple as. Really strong. Would totally recommend it over Executioner for PvE content, not PvP. Next, we have Flawless Stormbreaker. You could run it over ultimates, unless you're a Stam Sork. You really want to run Flawless Stormbreaker. And a DK, you can run Dragon Leap. On a Templar, you can run I forgot what that ultimate called is. It's like you fling something in a cone and it does a lot of damage. Then there's a morph to do increased damage for every enemy you hit, or reduced damage for every enemy you hit. This is our offensive, so you want to increase damage when you hit on a Templar. And then on the Nightblade, you can use Soul Harvest. It's stupidly good damage, and it's stupidly cheap. And I say that, it's not like overpowered, it's just really good. It's like the one thing that a Nightblade really does have. I'm not picking the other morph and Dull Brotherhood, it's pointless, do not use it. It's dumb. Oh yeah, you can get an extra, what, 2k, 3k damage? Yeah, I'm going to output 3 times more ultimates than you. There is just no point in picking the other morph, unless it's for PvP. For PvE, it's Soul Harvest. I'm not choosing the other one. I don't care if this is the magical morph and that's going to be the standard morph. This is just purely better. I don't need to stun a target. I've got ambush. I don't want another stun. Zenimax needs to make this the stamina morph and give Magicka a stun and stamina ultimate building, because Magicka has ultimate building, but it has no stuns. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But, you know, little right now, whatever. But I'm not changing it. Soul Harvest is clearly better. So you want that, or you can just run Flawless Stormbreaker for every class. But just to keep it simple, Stormbreaker to start with. If you feel you're comfortable enough, try something else. Next, we're going to go on our back bar, which is our bull bar. We have Resolve and Vigor. This is, you know, a really nice hit over time. We have Scorched Earth from the bow skill line, does a lot of damage. We have this spot is our way to get stamina back. Templar has it on the front bar, so you can run anything here on a Templar. I think it's called Power of the Light, I'm not too sure, where it copies the damage you do. You also do Minor Fracture, which is really nice, so you could run that there. For a Sam DK, you would run Igneous Shield to get weapon damage, ultimate, heal buff, and stamina back when you use this ability, which runs off Magicka, by the way, so this is a really good way to get. So you hit this like 3 or 4 times, you got a lot of stamina back, you got like 20% stamina back. For this build, that's a lot. Next is the Sork, which can use Dark Conversion, which is a cast ability, so use it in between rounds, not in rounds. Unless you have a spare second, cast it once. Don't keep casting it over and over and over again. Wait for them to spawn, then stop casting it. Stop casting it before they spawn if you know the timing well. Do not keep casting it because it will get you killed. Next, oh sorry, what am I talking about? I forgot. It's Nightblades. We have Relentless Focus. This increases our damage done and stamina recovery by 10%. You can also use siphoning attacks if you're having problems with recovery. Or you can run full weapon damage glyphs, and you can run Siphon Attack. I personally don't like keeping Siphon Attack up. I like to have enough stamina that I don't have to use this, but it's there if I need to. So I click this in between rounds, or if like there's like a wave is not spawning super fast, I have like a second, I click it, then I go back to my front bar. So that's your options for a Nightblade. Next we have Poison Injections. Break and Execute. Use this, just like start the fight with it, end the fight with it. The middle ground's a little bit shaky, but start with it, finish with it, you're good to go. It hits like a freaking truck and it's good damage over time. Next we have our defensive ability. A Nightblade has Double Take. You could also use Shades, you could also use Cloak for the reduced damage, minor protection, but it's not like, it doesn't really work well, but you just for clicking it you get it, so it's alright. I like Double Take more for the movement speed as well. For a DK you'd run Reflective Scales or Shuffle. On the Stamp Sork you'd use Shuffle or Hurricane, or whatever the morph is this update, but it'll be Hurricane next update, which gives you slight movement speed and AoE damage and increases your physical and spell resistance. For a template you have Rune Focus, which gives you reduced damage by 8%, minor protection, and then it gives you physical and spell resistance, which is equal to 8% damage resistance. But just know, 16% will work on everything but dots. Only 8% of that would work on dots. That's the minor protection, because damage over time goes through armor. If you got the thing on, it's the yellow numbers. They're damage over time effects. So if somebody hit you with Poison Injection, the initial hits, you know, base damage, it's like one hit. But the damage over time after that first hit doesn't get mitigated by your armor. So just know it's not going to protect you from everything, but it does do a lot of protection. Yeah, I think I covered all of that. And next we have a defensive ultimate. Veiler Blades, or the other morph, for a Nightblade, Corrosive Armor for Stan DK, which next update returns poison damage, I think it is, back to melee attackers, so that's really nice. It does a fair bit of damage. For a Templar, you want to use Nova and a Stamp Sword. The other thing you got is Suppression Field. One heals next update. This is not damage, this is defense. This is, oh shit, I'm gonna die. Click. That's what this ultimate is. So do not go for the one that damage enemies, I think it is next update, go for the one that heals. And this update, it doesn't matter, they're both shit. So go for defense, not offense on this back ultimate. Your fun defense, offense, defense. And that's all we got for the skills. Let's move on to gear. Alright guys, now what we got is the basics. We have well, I got Maelstrom weapons, you don't need those, forget about those for a second. Got Molokina and Bloodspawn, and we've got Hunting's Rage with a light piece and a heavy piece. Make sure the heavy's the chest and the light's the belt, you get more resistance this way. Hunting's Rage is the best all-round set for every stamina class. If you have every stamina class available to you, and you don't have that much gold or gold material, just make Hunting's Rage. It works well on every character still. If you're in a more specific character build, then you know you can do that once you've got the materials. If you don't, then just stick with Hunting's, it's great. You don't need Maelstrom weapons because, okay, if you don't have Molokina helmet, go for Lecky's. So you get Lecky's great sword with crit, by the way. You don't need crit. I've only got a sharpened Maelstrom bow, but then you go for a Lecky's helmet with infused. Big pieces infused, little pieces divines. And if you don't have Bloodspawn shoulders, you'll go for a set that will give you stamina recovery on the shoulder and a weapon. So 2-piece recovery. And then you'd put a weapon damage enchantment on your weapon. So in next update, I'm not going to use this on my Nightblade. I'm going to use it on my other classes. A Sam Nightblade doesn't use crit rush, and the weapon enchantment glyph next update to increase your weapon damage for 5 seconds is like 350, I think. It's somewhere around that mark. So I'll get way more damage than a Maelstrom with a Maelstrom weapon. So it's not the end of the world. Next update, normal enchantments are getting a huge buff. Maelstrom weapons aren't. So you don't need Maelstrom weapons. I'll tell you that now. And you could do the same with the bow. But what you could do, because I don't think they stack, you can run the weapon damage with your bow. So when you hit a poison injection, also hit a light attack. And that should give a good chance to proc the enchantment. I think it's supposed to be a 100% chance, it doesn't always proc though. So a light attack is give you weapon enchantment, weapon damage, because this transfers over to your front bar as well, and then you use a crushing enchantment to reduce the enemy's physical resistance on your two-handed. You would go with the sword, or a mace. So I think the sword's slightly better, the mace is slightly worse. Axe, try to avoid it if you can. If you want a Maelstrom axe, you can use it, but it won't be as effective. Unless you're like running a crazy two-handed dot build, and I don't know why you would do that. But try to stay away from the axes if you can. And precise is definitely a trait. I will say this: weapons need to be gold. Gear does not, as well. So these have to be gold, whatever weapon you have, but the gear doesn't. It would help if your enchantments are gold though. I will say that enchantments, try to get gold. And again, if you don't have the Molokina or Bloodspawn or Maelstrom stuff, improvise with crafted sets. There are crafted sets that do give really good bonuses, which, you know, does make up if you don't have these weapons. Just, you know, there are ways around it. So like weapon enchantment, glyphs on Lecky's and a Lecky's head if you don't have Molokina. You're not going to lose, you're actually going to get more damage than I'm going to get with Molokina and a Maelstrom weapon if you have Lecky's sword and Lecky's helmet, because the glyphs next up getting a huge buff. So enough about me repeating myself about glyphs and stuff. I just want to make sure you guys know it does not matter whatsoever if you do not have Maelstrom weapons. And next we have agility. I've got 1 recovery and 2 weapon damage. On a Templar, I feel you're better off with 2 recovery because you don't get any passives for recovery. Even with Repentance, that's only 10%, so it's not a lot. But that, with Repentance, should give you a hell of a lot more recovery, and your sustain will go through the roof. If you can feel that you could do with, if you feel that you got way more recovery than you need, go more damage. But if you need more recovery, go more recovery. Simple as that. Do not stick with 700 recovery if you can't deal with it. If you can deal with 700 recovery on a standard build, Jesus Christ, you're freaking OP, mate. So, just don't build like this if it doesn't work for you. The rings change to recovery, change to reduce cost, change to weapon damage. Change these enchantments to what you need, not what I'm showing you. This works for me. I could run more weapon damage. I could deal with that, but I don't like spending time buffing to get stamina back. So I will run 1 recovery, 2 weapon damage, so I'm always attacking, and it's really rare that I run out, only if I dodge roll like 1,000,000,000 times. And everything is stamina, all stam, because we're not running a high health build, we're running a high damage build. That's the best way for a sand build to do Maelstrom, I feel. Magic is get the best of both worlds. I will say this though, if you do get a good team to do Sanctum Ophidia, there's a set called Vicious Serpent. This is a medium armor set, so instead you'll be running 7 medium, so 1 heavy, 1 light for the Undaunted passive. The bonus it gives is weapon crit, stamina, max stamina, weapon crit again, and then on the 5th item, reduce standard cost of abilities by 8% as a passive. When you kill an enemy, gain 2,000 stamina back and increase movement speed by 40%. Like this major expedition for 20 seconds after you get a kill. And it gives you 129 weapon damage passive. You could run almost no regen on that setup. If you can get get a team to do Sanctum in the next update, if you can get, I think even a Vet 15 set would still be worth it. If you can get that set, run it. It will be the most well, it's not overpowered. Compared to magic builds, it's not. It's nowhere near as powerful. But on a standard build, it's gonna make you feel like God. You're gonna have so much regen in PvE. In PvP, you can still run it, but I mean, if you're Zerg busting, killing like 10 guys, it would work really well because you're always getting that movement speed. You're getting a fair bit of stamina back, reduce cost, and you still get a lot of weapon damage. It's like 170 less than Hundins. But I'll tell you what, I will change this glyph right here to weapon damage if I had that set. And remember, it's light armor, so I also get better recovery and reducing more cost, more crit, more dodge roll cost reduction. It will just be a perfect set for any stamina class. Like, so I think it's called Vicious Serpent. I'm sure that's the set. If not, somebody correct me. But it's crit, stamina, crit, then like 1,000,000,000,000 bonuses for the 5th piece. That's what really makes it. Even if you get well fitted, that's still going to be a good set. And again, I should say this, if you need a piece of well fitted for dodge rolling, just put 1 or 2 pieces on the smaller pieces. It won't hurt your damage that much. Because, well, we got, our middle stone is the Serpent. We're using max health and max regen. Not max health and regen. Max health and max stamina, not regen, is what I meant to say. So, this works out better, because look at that stamina. Most people get this recovery and that stamina. This recovery and they don't get that stamina. This way round is better. Much better. Because remember, for every 1,000 points of stamina is like 100 weapon damage. And with all my buffs, I get 6,000 on food. that's 600 weapon damage from food, and you get, you know, it gives like 500 points more health than the regen, max health and regen. So it's just better to go this way because the values are higher. So I like it this way round. But again, if you need more recovery, you could try drinks. I wouldn't recommend it though, but you could. And that's all I have to say about gear. So, Hunter's Rage, good all-rounder. You get Vicious Serpent, use it. Is all I'm going to say. Use it. It's awesome. It's going to be extremely powerful for any standard build in Maelstrom. I'm going to farm the hell of that set. I hope it drops from normal because hard is really hard out here. I'm on consoles and Dark Brotherhood hasn't released yet, so I've not had a chance to test it out. That's not going to be fun. So, yeah. And just remember, build to your regen, then build to your damage. Alright, next, let's move on to champion points. Champion points are pretty simple. We are running as low as regen as we possibly can, and this is achieved by using Warlord. Our abilities cost near to nothing to do, and Warlord is really good. 16% reduced damage reduced ability cost is really good because of the way it works. 16%, you could do 3 or 4 abilities in that time. So let's say you can get 50 to 60% less cost, like the percentage, you get 60% in 2 seconds. You would only get 25 in recovery, and our recovery is not that high anyway. So an ability that costs 2,000, 60% of that over time in the 2 seconds, if we spam 4 abilities, you know, that's a lot of stamina you're saving. I mean, that's like 1,000 over that time. Our regen is only 1,000, or say we had 2,000 regen, 25% of that is only 200, no, 250, no, what am I saying, 500. So you can save yourself over 1,000 stamina every 2 seconds, or you can regen 500 stamina every 2 seconds. It's far better to go in Warlord, no matter what people tell you. Then you want to put some into tumbling, just for dodge rolling, the final round, the boss fight. Pretty important. Things like the ice round, it's pretty important to break free constantly and not destroy your stamina. So you could put more in this. Take a little from Warlord and a little bit more from Mooncalf if you want to put more into tumbling. That's my recommendation. And then we have the blue tree. Now we're going to put some points in here. If you feel like your healing's enough, and honestly, I think my healing's enough in Maelstrom, so I'm actually going to take these out. But put 17 in to begin with. Trust me on that. Just put 17 in there to start off with. And then put the rest of your champion points like this. Mighty maxed, Precise Strikes maxed, because Pierced might be better, but Precise Strikes gives healing and damage on a crit. You know, like it increases your crit damage and your crit heals. So it's just far more effective to use this over this, because you're still getting damage and you're still getting heals. But if you went all in Pierced, you wouldn't get as much healing, which, yeah, it could work, but it's up to you to try. If you want more damage, probably Precise Strikes is not like the best bet to go like every other point into that isn't Mighty. So I don't know the exact numbers, I have to work these out, but this feels really good, and honestly I like the damage. So I'm going to go 15 here and I'm going to go 7 there. It doesn't really make any difference, I feel like, because my crit's so high on a Nightblade that Precise, I don't really notice it as much, especially with Surprise Attack. So I don't feel it's as worth it, but it's there for you to try. If you think one way is better than the other way, go for it. It's your character. You build to what you think. On a DK, I'll probably go more into pierced, just because they don't have very good crit. So you're gonna get as much damage as you can. So when you do crit, it hits like a mofo. Like it's probably more worthwhile with pierced than precise strikes on the DK. But the rest, they get crit bonuses. So precise strikes really does work with that. Next, we have the red tree. We have 62 in Hardy, 62 in Elemental Defender, and 28 in Thick-Skinned. These are your best bets. This is only for like rounds like I'm not sure if the ice round when you stand the wall, does that count as a damage over time effect? I don't think so. If it does, then that helps. The rounds I'm thinking about is round 2 and the poison round. This helps with that. If you can mitigate most of the damage, you can out-heal most of the damage. So this really does help for those rounds, and they're mostly the times the rounds that get me killed and ruin my freaking flawless. Well, actually, bugs kill my flawless more than anything, but when I say bugs, I mean like bugs with the game. Like, the game actually fucks up. Like, the portal in the last round didn't work, I couldn't get up to the top, killed me. But anyway, it's just better to go this way than any of the armor focus. Okay, I've worked it out. When you put 1 point into it, it's 0.2% damage reduction. When you put a point in here, it's a full percent. It gets less as you go more points, but even when you're at 99 points, it's still 0.2%. So why not just stack into here, because there's much more useful abilities in here, like Unchained and Critical Leech. Nightblade can really take advantage of this. Every class can take advantage of this. Like, it's just, another way to say it. So this is really good. You could probably put a little bit less into Thick-Skinned, and I should probably balance this out a bit better. There we go, so 66, 66, 20. But this is still good, but I can out-heal it because I've done it so many times I know exactly what to expect. But the first time, probably put a little bit more into Thick-Skinned if you're having trouble with something like the second round because of damage. But it's not the biggest deal. As long as you got a good over 50 in these and at least 10 in the Thick-Skin, you should be alright. And then we have Quick Recovery for more healing. Now, you could put a lot more into this and it won't affect your damage. But I like to think of it as, I'd rather not take as much damage than healing damage. But then again, it's Maelstrom, you're always going to take damage, so I always have that little bit in there. It's not that important, but it does help. So it is good. So, and you also get this passive, so it's not much, but if you're playing with a group, you get to res them faster. Yay! You shouldn't be dying anyway, to be honest. But that's basically the champion point setup I've got. So one last look again. Dude. Alright, well, they're the champion point setups. Alright, now let's talk about the best race, the final thing we got to talk about. Now we're on to the very final thing. If you're watching this, you want to build a new character, pick Redguard. I'm not going to tell you anything different than that, just pick Redguard. If you already have a stand character, you're not worse off, but just know it's not opinionated that Redguard's better, it's not a myth Redguard's better, it's just Redguard's better. Redguard has their passive, Adrenaline Rush, that's equal to 4 or 5 set bonuses, because that's it's 1,200 every 3 seconds. That's equal to just under 800 every 2 seconds. That's when you do a melee attack, you're giving yourself 800 regen on top of what you've already got. You can run such low regen with this build because of this passive. I've got way more regen than I need because of this passive. You know, I can run lower. I just like to, you know, make sure I've got enough. So, you can run lower, regen, more damage, and you're good. You can run more regen, and you're never going to run out. Just because of this passive. This, like, in my opinion, it's Redguard, Orc, Imperial, Khajiit, Wood Elf. Those are the 5 standard characters. I'm not going to say an Argonian, and I'm not going to say a Nord. They're tanks. They're meant for tank builds, not DPS. So they're not there. Redguard has, the values are higher than any other class on the passive. Like it's a full set of just recovery. You know, 4 or 5 pieces worth of recovery to equal this passive. That's a lot of regen. Imperial, Orc is my second choice because they've got really good damage. They don't have the great sustain, but they do have really good damage and movement speed. An Imperial is really tanky, good health and stamina buff. They get a 10% chance on a melee hit, give 2,000 stamina, 2,000 health back. So that's not bad. But I wouldn't recommend it unless you're a tank. It's good for a tank, definitely. Khajiit crit bonus is broken. That's why it's low. If it was fixed, I recommend it super highly for the Nightblade and the Sork. Wood Elf is last because it's shit. It's shit. The only passive they get has any application for entire Maelstrom is at 21% increased stamina, and this passive alone trumps that. You would have to have 4,000 regen, base regen, and that 21% would equal that passive. It's not worth. Wood Elf is just terrible. Khajiit wouldn't be terrible if it was fixed. The crit bonus fixed. I would recommend that if it was. Imperial is good if you want to be tanky, and Orc's good if you want more damage. The Redguard's just the best route, like the best race, because I could do solo content with ease, and I don't have to put too much more recovery. I could drop down to like 1,000 recovery with a Redguard, and I'll have a ton of damage, and in a group dungeon. You don't need that much recovery in a group dungeon. But for solo play like Maelstrom, I don't need that much. Like 800 more regen is not that much more. So yeah, just Redguard. If you already have a character, don't feel bad. But the Redguard's better. I'm sorry, but it's just so better. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope I helped some of you guys build for Maelstrom. I hope I explained well enough why I picked the choices I did. Because I'm not great at that, you know. But I want to see more standard classes beating Maelstrom. Like more like people who play standard beat Maelstrom. Because it's harder to do on a standard character than it is a Magicka character. It's a lot harder. But I tell you what, if you can do it on a standard character, people are just gonna think you're OP. When people do Maelstrom on a Magicka character, like, really, you done Maelstrom on a Sork? I thought you would on it when it came out, freaking noob. Don't look at you and think, oh, that dude's pretty cool. Don't look at the Sork and think, yeah, it's freaking noob. The Magic Sork, by the way. If you're a Stam Sork, Jesus Christ, if you do Maelstrom on Stam Sork, fucking salute to you, mate. They're fucking crap. They're not crap as in they're bad. Well, actually, yeah, they're bad. Like, I've got one. It's not... They're fun to play, but they're crap. So, yeah. But you know what I mean. I really want to help people with stamina characters complete it and not feel like they're second-class citizens in a game that is overrun with Magicka builds, you know? So, that's why I want to make this video as well, to get started back on the rise again. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stick around for some more videos. I don't know what it'll be. I might do a tank build. I might do like some guides on how to do Maelstrom. I don't know. Tell me what you think I should do. Like, a guide to Maelstrom would probably help in conjunction with this video, and help a lot more people complete Maelstrom, hopefully. So yeah, I might do that. But anyway, going off topic again. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that may be. And thanks for watching. Cheers.